Welcome back. It's been a couple of weeks. These wheels are completely redone. They are powder coated and also I ceramic coated them. So white wheels are beautiful, but they're a pain in the ass to keep clean. So ceramic coating will help to make the surface a little bit smoother and therefore remove brake dust and grime a little bit easier. Also, these are now on black, new, also have a new gasket, so no risk of any air leakage. But there's also more. Over here we see the front wheel, and you can also see there's new rubber on it, also powder coated, ceramic coated. I put now some new rubber on, Diablo Rosso 4s, and also new brake discs. The brake discs were at its minimum wear. These are the OEM Brembo ones. However, especially this offset can only be retrieved from Ducati, and they are very expensive through Ducati. Another disadvantage is these are very, very old designs. So I got these beautiful golden looking EBC ones, and also I weighed them, and each disc is almost, the EBC ones are almost 1 pound lighter than the OEM ones. So if you have that as a rotating mass, that is a huge difference. So it would be 2 pounds for the entire front wheel, and that is almost as big of a difference as going from forged aluminum to carbon fiber. So these old discs, and this is also the weight when they're already badly worn, so it's new, they're probably even heavier. So off with the old and on with the new. You see I have already one of these beautiful looking rotors on. I think it really goes well with the golden chain and little accents on the bike that are in the same gold copperish color. And so we're just gonna flip this one around and then install the second rotor with you. Alright, so it's helpful to have some box. This box came with the order of the new rotors. So if you order rotors, you should also have one. Or of course put it on a desk or whatever you have available. The EBC rotors come in these nice little boxes. So get it out and maybe touch the brake surface as little as possible. You need to clean them anyway with alcohol or any degreaser, so they are ready for action. But yeah, what I like to do is I align the EBC logo with the Diablo Rosso logo. It's not necessary. It should slide right on. On the other side, I need to convince it a little bit more because some of the powder coating made it a little bit harder to access it. Then make sure it aligns nicely with all the holes. You can, in theory, reuse the bolts, but these are pretty cheap. I think like $2 each or something. And they also come with Loctite on them. So I just got new ones because without an impact gun, they're really easy to strip. So we're just gonna put them in and I'm gonna torque them down. Interestingly enough, in my workshop manual, I didn't find the stock for it. In my workshop manual, I didn't find the torque for it. But with a quick internet search, people said for these wheels and also the magnesium wheels, the torque should be 26 Newton meters. For reference, on my BMW, it's for example 20 Newton meters. So I will be going a bit lower than 26 because it has Loctite and also it's not a race bike. But yeah, 26 seems to be the torque setting to go for. But again, sounds a little bit high for me, so I will just go a touch lower. But it shouldn't be a problem. Especially my torque range here is made for much higher torques. So in the lower settings, 1 or 2 Newton meters difference will be actually really hard to measure with them correctly anyway. So not to worry, you're not going to over torque or under torque things massively if you just do a small change. So get your 40 out, and I have this little extension. What you want to do is so that the rotor sets itself evenly onto the wheel, you want to go in a star pattern. So we're gonna first only hand tightly snug down this screw, then this one, then we're gonna jump over here, jump over here, jump over here, and jump over here. So that will create a more even pressure, and I'm going to torque them down in that as well, in that order. Alright, hand snug. Now I'm gonna get the torque wrench out. I have it set to 17 foot-pound. And then start pattern again. And here it helps if you have the tire against something so it doesn't turn. You don't want to torque it down all the way, so just go a little bit on each one. So it can evenly sit. Alright, good. And there you have it, beautiful EBC rotors on these Rosso 4s. Really happy with how clean that looks. Also, I think the gold and the white looks quite nicely together. So next step, let's put it into the front axle. Howdy. So from earlier, you probably can still even see that the axle is right where this pit bowl stand is. Really annoying because that makes the front tire change a lot harder. If I would have known at the beginning of the project, I probably would have lowered it and then just put something on the pins to just have a little bit clearance. But what we're going to do now is we're going to lose all the pinch bolts and then shove the axle up until I have clearance. For that I also need to remove the handlebar. It's really annoying. So if you can do something here, or I have a different stand and you don't need to do the steps, I'm just going to move the forks now a little bit up to get access to the axle and then get finally the front tire in. Woohoo! Alright, all these are 6mm Allen. One thing to keep in mind is if you loosen up all of them, the forks might just slide through. So I'm going to put something under here in case of a mishap. Also always secure with your hand, and then nothing should be happening. And you can see if I would be not holding it, they already want to slide down. Loosely so they don't slide. And let's see if I have enough clearance to get the wheel in. The front wheel has an orientation. So on the rubber and on the wheel itself are little arrows. So if they're on top, you make sure they point forward. And now, let's see. I think we just have about enough clearance. Well, let's hope so. It's gonna be mighty tight, but let's give it a try. Yeah, that seems to be working, which is awesome news, so I don't need to remove the handlebars and all that jazz around. I'm gonna put a little bit of general purpose grease on the axle. That's really just to stop corrosion and also make it slide nicer. You don't need a lot, there's already a lot, so I'm going to put some on and then remove the excess. This part, right, that's where the clamp bolt's on, so I polish it off so there's nothing on there, because you don't have that sliding. You just remove a little bit. You want to have it like a really thin layer. Again, this is just get it level the forks roughly so you can get the axle through. Once we get the wheel off the ground, we will measure it and make sure that the fork legs are perfectly even, and that you can measure it by if the axle can move very freely through. Alright, so make sure that here you got the spacer. We have the axle through right here, and then over here you see also these, let me punch in, these notches. They will have to align with the bottom here. You can test that with a screwdriver from here. The idea is that you can still access it's probably the compression or rebound setting from the fork from under here through that opening. So with that, you need to align the axle. but at least the front tire is in. And I'm just going to secure this with our new nifty Ducati little nut here. I like that it's black and also has, let me zoom in. I love parts that have like the Newton meters written on it, 65 Newton meters. Super cool, makes working on it much easier. So that goes on here. Also I like that everything is now, like a lot of fasteners are black. You can see the pinch bolts, the new are black, and this one is then actually also aluminum. So we can fasten this here, axle this through, and we're just gonna make sure that this one is getting aligned properly, and also needs to be all the way flush in. And so like if you have like a rubber mallet to get it in, even with a little bit of lubricant on it, it's pretty tight. So that could be helpful to give it a couple of taps. Definitely don't use a hammer. So the first ring is showing. That's the setting I want, right? You can change the geometry of the bike if you have multiple rings showing. But yeah, we'll measure it that it's exactly the same on both sides. The tire is supported here. So it's really nice. Else ask your spouse, friend to hold it in place. Or you can also tighten it on one side. Make sure that the other side then is on exactly the same height. And once you have everything in place, you can down here move the axle, and the axle should slide pretty freely back and forth. If it's catching very easily, probably fork legs are not on the same height. Also, the fork legs are not always identical in height, so keep that in mind. So even if the measurement up here is exactly the same, the important thing is that the axle slides through evenly. That means, right, everything is level there between the two axle holes, and that is the important part. So that way you can try it out until you have it as in the right settings, and then you torque down these 3 bolts on each side, 20 Newton meters. Going with the outer to 20, checking the inner again, and move a little bit, 20, 20. All right, same on the other side, inner 1 to 20 Newton meter, that is 15 foot-pound. 20 Newton meters for the lower triple, and up here the single bolt 22 Newton meters. I got my mini torque wrench out here, and because they impact each other, it's important to torque them at least this one down, then this one down, then this one down again. Some people go even further back and forth until it's exactly 20 Newton meters on both of them. Then I just can move again. Trying to be smooth. 20, 20. Top one is 22, which is the max of this one. This torque wrench that is. 22. And now I get one of these paint markers out. This one is in white. And I'm just gonna mark down the torque. Very small depths, so it doesn't show too much. Let me show you a little bit closer. So you see I just have these marks, so in case they move, we see this. On the top we have this one here. That way you can quickly check if any screws are coming loose. Let's do that also on the bottom ones. These ones are torqued down already, so I'm just gonna make a little notch right here. And one right here. You don't really see them unless you know they're there, and that way you're always safe. I'm gonna do it on the other side, but not gonna show you. And this S2R 1000 is again on her front tire, bearing her own weight, which is exciting. It's the first time that this is down after a while of the rims, rubber, and getting everything together. So exciting. Last thing left to do. This nut is 63 Newton meters or 46 foot-pound. Good old Rossi number there. So I'm going to torque this down, and you need a 28mm socket. And also this one, paint marker. I'm going to mark it on the lower side. So this is how she looks like right now. Progress. Front wheel looks stunning. I really like it. Oh, let's see, sorry, dirt here. Also with the Diablo Rosso labeling. Looks brand spanking new. Really excited how it is coming together. Rear needs work, but we'll see that in the next video. Okay, until then, bye.